Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audio fiction. This is the new series for Marichat Monday, If I Could Tell Her, and this is part 4. So a massive shout out and lots of love to Peppermintpapers for her stunning artwork in the thumbnail, and send me lots of love by smashing that like button. Comment down below what you think of it and what will happen next, and subscribe because you've got to part 4. What are you waiting for? And I hope you enjoy. Part 4. Marinette's Ladybug's POV. Ooh, what do you mean? Your father is? How is your father Shadow Moth? Adrien squeezed her tighter at the words.
He revealed himself as Adrien confronted him. He was going to akumatize his son. I used my catalysm to free us.
Plague said softly with a look of concern at Adrien and attempting to brush off a cuddle from Tiki.
Sugar Cube,
Adrien isn't the only one who needs a hug. You protected him.
Yeah, well, he's my buddy.
Plague shrugged his tiny shoulders.
He's my kitten. Big deal.
I love you too, buddy. Adrien muffled, his face still pressed into Marinette's top. Adrien. Marinette leaned down and brushed back his hair and kissed his head. Lingering for a moment, she noticed it covered in powder and dust from the wreckage. What was she going to do? She needed to think like Ladybug, to step back from the situation and come up with a plan, and yet Adrien, her kitty, lay broken in her arms, and all she wanted to do in that moment was comfort him, to show him that she was here for him as he wept, pouring out all the confusion and anger and pain. His father, Gable Agress, was Shadow Moth. His son was Cat Noir, and neither of them had realized. He was even ready to akumatize his own son to get what he wanted. But why Adrien? How did tormenting his son help him? Marinette. How? Why? Shh. I'm here, Adrien. We'll work it out together. You are safe here. I love you. She breathed into his hair, cocooning herself around him, not knowing where one started and the other ended. I had to transform to escape. He knows. My Shadow Moth knows I'm Cat Noir. I need to tell Ladybug. I need to warn her. The tears eased and Adrien could form words again. He shuffled slightly so that he could angle his head and stare at Marinette. His eyes were sore and red, but he had held her gaze as he reached up and swiped a tear from her cheeks with his thumb. She pressed a hand on top of his, leaning into it as she used her other hand to mirror his own actions. You had to. There was no other choice. You had to escape, Adrien, and it worked. You got away, and now you're here, safe with me. But we're not safe. Not here. He wanted you, Marinette. He wanted me. Shadow Moth. Why? Did he say? She released some of her grip on him and dropped her hand off his. She cast her eyes away from his now stunning stare. Shadow Moth wanted her. There was only one reason. He knew. Her enemy knew that she was Ladybug. And now he knows he's Cat Noir? He had said he'd been watching you for a while and knew you would risk it all for me. Did he say anything else? Marinette, look at me. Why? He gently nudged her face back round to his. She took a steady breath and caught his gaze with a sorry expression. Ladybug? She nodded her head against his hand. Yeah, I'm Ladybug. She gestured to the side at Tiki floating next to Plag and watched the realization hit him. So consumed in the moment, wrapped in her arms, he hadn't seen Tiki beside Plag. I hadn't. What? You? Time? My kitty. My cat, she said with a tender voice, stroking his cheek. My lady. Adrien began leaning a little closer to her until the sound of Tiki's voice stopped him.
None of that matters right now. You can have this I should have been blind moment afterwards. If Shadow Moth knows both of your identities and the relationship you share, means he'll be planning his next move. He won't waste this opportunity, knowing the emotional impact it will have on the pair of you.
Sugar Cube is right. There is still that possible Akuma out there. But we also gave him the last piece of the puzzle. Who knows what he's planning? What is he doing it for? I don't know. To make a wish? And for what? The man has everything. She could hear the pain and confusion as he grasped out to the air in front of him, reaching out for something he couldn't see. I think in time it will become clear why. But right now, the Kwamis are right. He will form a plan, which means we also need to. Together. You are Ladybug. And you're my kitty. The question that keeps rolling inside my head is how? How did he figure it out? How did he know that you're Ladybug? I don't know. He has been targeting my family and the people around me more with Akumas recently. Testing his... Oh, my family! We need to get them somewhere safe. What if he comes here? The fog was clearing inside her mind with the realization of the bigger impact it will all have. Adrien bolted up to a sitting position. There is nowhere safe. There isn't enough time, which means we can't stay here. You're right. Which also means I need to hide the miracle box. Tiki, where could I take it? Do you know if Suhan is still here?
I haven't sensed him in a while, but Master Fu would always hide it in plain sight. Shadow Moth will expect you to use your allies.
Yeah, you're right. I can't risk it, but maybe I could use... She paused, glancing at Adrien, staring at her with his eyes wide. Are you alright, Adrien? I know this is a lot to take, but you really are Ladybug, even without the suit on. I suppose I am. I always thought of it as two separate sides of me, you know? But now, somehow, the connection feels stronger. Yeah, I get it.
Great! You get it, she gets it, we all get it! Like Sugar Cube said, all that can wait. We need to move.
Plag said, holding his paws out, waiting for Adrien to say the words. Claws out. Tiki, spots on. The two lights blended together to reveal Cat Noir and Ladybug, now perched together on Marinette's bed. After the battle, Marinette noted to herself to take a moment and realize how surreal all this was, but now was not that time. Before Kitty jumped out of the skylight, Ladybug grabbed hold of his arm. Cat, before we go, are you ready? I mean, really ready to take on Shadow Moth? She relaxed her hold and cast her gaze down to a yo-yo in her hand. We need to stop him. I understand, Bugaboo. He lifted a chin up. Right now, he's not. He is Shadow Moth, who has been terrorizing the city for the past 4 years, and now he knows. I know now he is willing to do anything to make his plan work,
for the wish, and we can't let that happen, no matter the cost. Right now, all that matters is me and you against the world. We have a chance to finally stop all this.
To free Paris. To free everyone from the Akumas. You and I together. He placed his gloved hand over her cheek, rubbing his thumb over the edge of her mask.
I love you. All of you.
No, Cat, my kitty, no goodbyes, what ifs. After the battle, I will happily lay here in your arms and spout out my love to you until you are sick of hearing it. But not now, not like this could be. At the same time, the Akuma alarm went off on their phones.
Okay, I get it. No gesture, but this.
Cat pulled her closer as she nodded, grabbing hold of his collar. They said all they wanted to in that kiss, leaving no doubt of their loving bond for each other.
I can't wait to do that again after the battle.
He grinned, but it didn't reach his eyes. Oh, how much she wanted to utter those 3 words, lingering on her tongue, but she kept true to her own words. There will be plenty of time for all that afterwards. Instead, she flicked his bell as she removed herself from his hold and jumped over the side of the bed. He joined her, watching her press the code into the large bobbins, and heard him let out a chuckle whilst muttering under his breath,
"Oh, Marinette."
She held the red oval magical box in her hand. I know where we can take it.
You lead, my lady, and I will follow.
They leapt back onto the bed, through the window and out across the roofs. When she had become the guardian, she had the foresight to set up 2 safe spots for this moment, which wasn't linked to Marinette, and not even Alia knew about them. One of them had been a secret location, passed down from Master Fu at an old tea shop, one of their back storage rooms, but just in case Shadow Moth had made the connection, not knowing how much he actually knew, Ladybug decided on the second location, at a small storage unit bedded in the center of the city, under plain sight, but only discovered it during a previous battle. Under a different name, it had taken every last penny she had saved, but right now, it was priceless. They jumped down to the nearest alleyway. I think it's best if we transform back. That way Ladybug or Cat Noir aren't spotted entering. I've made that mistake before. She lowered her gaze as the pang of guilt resurfaced. Spots off. Marinette took out a treat for both Tiki and Plag from her purse.
Claws in.
As Adrien placed a hand on her shoulder, giving it a little squeeze before his hand slid down her arm and rested in hers. It's this way. She entwined her fingers between his, tugging in the direction they needed to go. She stopped in front of a fire escape and took out 2 keys from her pocket. She handed one to Adrien and used the other to open the door. Inside was a long, grotty corridor, painted in beige across the walls, and large shadows cast shapes from the few lights not working hanging above them. It looked more like a hallway you would find in a run-down hotel rather than a storage unit with doors with large numbers painted on them.
Marinette?
Adrien said, the hesitation and caution clear in his voice as he pulled back his hand, forcing her closer to him. Adrien, it's fine. Trust me.
Always, Marinette, but...
It looks worse than it is, and that's part of the appeal. It's safe.
We been here before?
Yeah, a few years back. Half of the building got smashed by an Akuma, but thanks to the miracle bugs, it got fixed, and I got an idea.
Clever princess.
He gave her hand a squeeze, and she couldn't help producing a proud smile for herself. They reached door number 54 with a modern keycode pad at the side, standing out against the unusual surroundings. Adrien automatically turned his head as she dialed in the code. No. You need to know it too. She pressed in the number to a date. He looked confused for a moment and then shifted to clarity. Umbrella? She whispered.
Knowing a blush was forming across her cheeks, she darted her eyes up and saw a smile that reached his eyes. Yeah, I think there's a lot we need to talk about afterwards. The smile changing to a smirk. She opened the door to reveal a sparse space. It looked like someone had dumped a load of random furniture into the bedroom and forgot about it with added layer of thick dust. It came with the items already in here. It cost more, but I thought it would work better if, doesn't look like a secret layer. This is ingenious. You never stop surprising me, princess. No one would have thought. She opened a wardrobe in the far corner, revealing a couple of gem bags inside and another bobbin box that was less ornate than the one in her bedroom and seemed to blend in with the rest of the items. I have packed spare clothes for both of us. I had to guess your size. There are cans of food, even a camping stove, just in case. We have this space now. It belongs to both of us. She pressed down the bobbins in the same order as the bedroom one. Wait, before I do, she pressed the top button which looked like the ladybug symbol, releasing all the kwamis. She glanced around to Adrien, who stared wide-eyed at all the flying creatures zooming around these new surroundings and greeting Tiki and Plag, who had appeared from hiding, taking a sharp intake of breath. I need you to all listen to me, as the guardian. They all stopped what they were doing and stared at Marinette. Cat and I, she gestured at Adrien, the little kwamis muttering to one another at this new revelation. We have reached the ultimate battle. Shadow Moth knows who we are, and we know who he is. This is the moment we've all been building towards, working together as a team. We will get through this and win. They all nodded their heads, including Adrien. We will gather the team together, and I will ask each of your holders to join the fight. The rest of you remain here, guard the box. Only Cat, Adrien, and I know of this location. Anyone else could be a senti monster or an illusion. The key word is umbrella, Adrien added with a firm nod. You got that? Umbrella. If everything goes according to plan, we will both come back here to retrieve the box. Is that clear?
We are with you, Guardian and Cat Noir, ready to fight alongside of you. We are ready. We can do this.
Tiki spoke whilst the rest of the kwamis loudly agreed. Let's bring back our friends, Nuru and Dusu, Waze added.
Yeah!
The rest joined in. Knowing time was against them, and with the added help from the kwamis, they formed a plan, hoping to ensure the downfall of Shadow Moth. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week will be part 5, the ultimate battle. So make sure you hit that notification button, hit the subscribe button so you do not miss out. Make sure you smash the like button as well to send me a little bit of love. Sorry it's a little bit of a shorter one. I'm battling my own battle with migraine at the moment, but next week will probably be an extended one anyway. So I hope you're good and you enjoyed it and you are ready for the battle ahead, and I will speak to you soon. Okay, bye.